What's going on, family? We are here to talk about Warner Bros. Yes, they're doing the best that they have ever done. Superman just made $1 billion at box office, and honestly, none of that has happened. We're in the worst situation for Warner Bros. Right now, and we're here to talk about it. Real quick, I want to dive into this a little bit because I feel like I've seen this coming. We've seen this coming. And I'm not talking 2025 seen this coming. We've seen this coming when AT&T purchased Warner Bros. Back in like 2018, 2016, somewhere around there, right? When they purchased them, my first thought was, what the hell does a telecommunications company want with a production studio? Like, it didn't make any sense to me. But then on top of that, I felt like they were getting into the DirecTV, so now they're selling you the content, so they want to get in on the back end of the content, maybe. But it didn't make any sense looking back at it. So AT&T purchased Warner Bros. For $86 billion, right? And when it was all said and done, I believe the total amount was $106 billion. It wasn't a great day for anyone. Honestly, actually, I take that back. It was a great day for those who sold because $106 billion, that's billion with a B, guys. That's nothing to sneeze at. But ever since AT&T has just been making, past tense, were making bad decisions down the line. And by the time AT&T sold Warner Bros., they sold them for $43 billion. Now let's do the math here. That's a $63 billion loss. So yes, I noticed those losses. You know why? Because I had AT&T as a phone company at the time. And there was certain charges that was happening. And I was like, why? Like, why do I have to keep going through this with AT&T right now? And then when you look on the back end of business, they're suffering. So they're trying to get every penny from anyone that they can at that point in time. And it made all the sense in the world. And then around the pandemic time, we're releasing movies day and date with the movie theaters just to appease shareholders. But you know what appeases shareholders? ROI. And releasing films on streaming where I have a family of 10 and we can watch this film in the comfort of our home for, at the time, I believe it was like $10.99 a month. It was like $11. That's the price of one ticket at the movie theater. And even if you got to bust that down with between the two, like again, that's $5.50 per person that you're letting into this theater. So now you paid your $11 for the month, and now you can go and you can watch day and date Mortal Kombat, day and date Godzilla Kong, day and date Wonder Woman, like 1984. So we seen that was a bad situation. We appreciate the content that was given to the movie theaters at the time because it was great content. We just thought that the business decision behind it was terrible. Fast forward, when AT&T sells for $43 billion, they're in a rebuilding stage. So a lot of this content started to come out and it was phenomenal. I believe you had Winning Time. Of course, you had the Peacemaker series. You had Penguin. Then I'm sure you had a bunch of other stuff in there. I'm just telling you stuff that I'm watching. Obviously, sports and comics is my wheelhouse, so that's what I'm watching. But I'm pretty sure they had other things on there. I believe House of Dragon. I've never watched a Game of Thrones episode a day in my life, but that's neither here nor there. But they were making content and they were appeasing to people. I believe some of the content was even winning awards at one point. Phenomenal, right? And now we're here again. And I tell people this because we talked back in July and I told you guys, hey, the Superman film just not going to cut it. It's not going to work. The reason being is it's not, we like realism with our superheroes nowadays. And that just that's not what we got out of that film. And then we like writing. We like great storytelling. And I felt like Superman just wasn't that. And when you guys was talking down on me, hey, Superman just crossed the $600 million mark, so on and so forth. James Gunn says it's profitable. Guys, if I was telling my own story, I'm going to tell you some incredible stuff about what I've done, and it might not be the truth. I mean, if I tell you that, hey, I'm flipping homes and I have over $1 million, like of course you're gonna Nobody's going to check the credentials, right? But those people that will find out the truth about, oh, he doesn't have $1 million. He has 6. But you don't care about that. You just care about the perception of this movie made this amount. But I'm telling you guys on the back end, hey, it cost this. And it's just like, nah, James Gunn said it. Who am I going to trust? You or James Gunn? And I get it. Trust them. But you're going to be led astray, obviously. But those things, I talk about those things because when it comes, I want these films to win. And when it comes to films like Superman that had a $225 million budget, again, it's like, where's that money going? You watched that film like I watched that film. The writing wasn't there. The action was definitely there. On the action scenes, it was there. But it wasn't it goes back to the writing. You had the action scenes, so I'm guessing the special effects is starting to cost people a lot more. It just wasn't there for me, personally. Then we get close to the date for Mortal Kombat to come out, and then Mortal Kombat gets pushed back 8 months. I understand why. Superman didn't do what we needed it to do, so we're going to move this film so we don't get caught with our pants down again. I get it. It's time to make those changes. But with those changes comes interest rates. So what people don't know about films, if this film cost $100 million, interest rates might be 10%. So every month, but that's every month. So every month that you're holding on to this, you're paying out $100 grand. And it could be a lot more. I mean, I'm saying $100 grand. $1 million. Sorry, guys. I'm thinking of $1 million. You're paying $1 million in interest, which isn't much. Again, that's 8. Now this film went from $100 million film to $108 million film. When you start doing that with films that cost 200 and some odd million, and the interest rates are 15%, then things get a little wild. So they can't hold those films too much longer. So that's what we're dealing with here. Again, with Warner Bros., I hope they sell to someone who's worthy. I see that Paramount is making an offer. For some odd reason, they don't want to sell to Paramount. Not sure why. Could be personal reasons. Don't really care. Netflix, I don't want them to sell to Netflix because I just don't admire Netflix's business model. Maybe they'll change it up a little bit, but I highly doubt it. Amazon, I want someone from Amazon. I feel like Amazon has the capital to purchase Warner Bros., and it would be nice to add to their repertoire. You already have MGM, and I feel like that's very minute compared to a Warner Bros. So you could take on that extra weight because MGM releases about maybe 10 films a year, where Warner Bros. Releases about 40, 50 films a year. So there's a lot of content there. So maybe we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Hopefully something great happens. Warner Bros. is a great studio. Again, they've released 2 of my favorite movies of the year, 2 of my top tier films of ever. I've never seen a movie like, I'm not going to say I've never seen a movie like it, but Sinners was phenomenal. Weapons was phenomenal. So hopefully, again, this works for them. I really wanted to see Mortal Kombat, although what's my man name that plays Johnny Cage? Carl Urban. Although Carl Urban was a bad casting choice, I still think that movie looked good. I just didn't think it was going to be great, but hopefully, I doubt that they're going to go back and rewrite some things, but it's going to be a decent movie. It's going to be a blockbuster. I feel like people are going to come. They're going to come out and see it, and they're going to enjoy it. Unfortunately, it's rated R, so you're not going to get the box office that you want to get out of that film, but I think it's going to be a good film. They released Final Destination this year. They've just done so great this year. Hell, they released one of my favorite series in a long time, Penguin. Like, the writing in that, it just flows. They do a great job with what they do. So hopefully they sell to someone that's going to keep on a lot of their teams and work with them. Hopefully they sell to someone who can just keep the entire team, and so that they can do what they're going to do. And I feel like that's what the AT&T thing was about, but I just feel like AT&T bit off a lot more than they can chew. Like that decision just never made sense. So that's me. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Don't forget to leave your comments down below. What are your thoughts on Warner Bros. And their selling and merging with other companies? I appreciate y'all for tuning in for another episode of the Seez Monroe Show. Peace.